Good evening, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well tonight. This was an unexpected impromptu live stream, but I was going to do a full video on this, but I am still in the middle of this really, really big Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny review video that's taking up all of my editing and scripting time right now. So I thought, well, you know what? This whole subject of NECA, I covered it pretty thoroughly on the last video I did about NECA. The whole video. I think it was the only video I've ever really done about NECA. And then I stuck to my guns for quite a while and said I wasn't going to buy anymore until they fixed their quality control problems. And everybody was saying over the past year that they have. And I was like, well, that's good, but they haven't made anything that would make me take the risk again. And then Lio told me about this Mirage set that was coming out. And as you may recall, as you can see behind me, these are the original NECA Mirage issue number 1 / issue number 2, the early artwork turtles that NECA did back in, I think, 08, 09, something like that. And they were kindly and surprisingly donated to the channel by Venkman. And so we thought that was kind of the end of the Mirage ride by and large, aside from a few San Diego Comic-Con exclusives from way back then. But the ones that I really would have dreamed of were the ones that were on the poster on my wall as a kid. Because as kids in the 80s, my brother and I actually read the collected trades of the original comics after we got into the Ninja Turtles. Thank you, Killamagwai. Very, very kind super chat. Thank you so much, sir. Glad to see you here. And so I heard about this through Lio Convoy, this Target exclusive. They said it's not going to be Target exclusive, but it's showing up in Targets first. This 4-pack that is based on the revised sort of like later comics artwork. When I say later, I don't mean much later. I just mean Eastman and Laird kind of found their groove and found their style. And so this is the artwork. The turtles in this are based on the artwork that you would have seen on the Nintendo game cartridge box cover, which was the poster in my childhood bedroom, which I still have that poster in a frame over here. And also, I want to thank Laser Pants, because after Lio Convoy had told me this thing existed, I was having a hard time finding it, and Laser Pants managed to find it for me. He sent up the flare, and he was able to arrange for me to purchase it by proxy, and then, so it's here. It's right here. And we're going to open this on camera and just see what the quality is. Action Pop Dad, thank you so much for the 2 quid. You did not delay me at all. It's all good. But yeah, this is I think it's appropriate that we do this live based on the NECA video that I did 2 years ago, whatever it was. Because if this is everything that Lio and other people I trust are saying it is, because it was on 3POA that Bobby and Ryan and others were telling me about a year ago that NECA had largely solved its quality control problems. And I'm like, oh, great. So they're not making their action figures out of glued together sawdust anymore. Is that what we're saying? And they were like, no, they've really upped their game. And I trust all those guys. But again, they hadn't made anything that I was willing to step across that line for. This was the one. This was the one where I was like, all right, if they botch this, then this is the last dance with NECA. But everyone's saying no, it's going to be fine. Yeah. So, and then the box actually, for people who, I think one of the really clever things about this is, for those people who don't want to take this out of the box, instead of this flap flipping up, the flap flips down and becomes a display base. So, yeah. Okay, so let's not waste any more time. Let's see. Analysis of sci-fi says I don't come off as a Ninja Turtles fan. You are wrong. Because I have a feeling you're defining Ninja Turtles fan as some sort of like person that is in love with the logo and has to love everything Ninja Turtles. And that is not the case. You can be a fan, enthusiast, or admirer of something and not like every single thing they've ever made. And as somebody who was there at Genesis and read the original comics in the 80s, I was able to pick my poison pretty authentically. I was playing the original role-playing game that was made right around the time that the cartoon was getting licensed, you know. Let's not sit here and start defining what it means to be a fan. I really don't like that kind of stuff. Okay, so I had this poster on my wall as a child in the 80s. I don't know how old you are, sir, but I can assure you that you want to go a few rounds with me on that, I will happily oblige you and I will wreck you. Okay. All right. Scott Knudsen, thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you for being here. He says, it's like waiting for the Ark to be open. Will it be priceless treasure or just dust or wrathful angels? If it's wrathful angels, I'm out of here. It's beautiful. Let's see. Analog Toys. Good to see you here, Tony. Hope you're having a great morning in Australia. If NECA has improved, and that's a very kind super chat, sir. If NECA has improved the quality of their action figures, then people need to thank you because I'm certain your video had a lot to do with it. The way I've always kind of looked at it was very likely what my video, because I was coalescing what everybody else said and then adding my own perspective, my firsthand perspective with the Aliens versus Predator figures onto it. And remember, I know how to repair toys, restore toys, and I knew NECA's reputation, so I had the boiling water, the heat gun, the this, the that ready. It wouldn't have made a difference. As careful as I was with these little squirrel paws, those toys just, the Predator just fell apart. And therefore, I'm not even going to attempt trying to move the joints on the other figures like Dutch. Dutch's robot arm, it doesn't want to move. And I'm like, you know what? No amount of boiling water is going to save this guy. I'm just going to leave him alone. So yeah, this is kind of a big discovery point here. It's like, will this come out okay? Okay. Do I have the lead figures? You mean from the TSR role-playing game back in the day? No, I don't have those. It was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness was the name of the role-playing game. I don't remember if it was made by TSR. I don't think it was. I can't remember who it was made by, but my brother still has all of our rule books. Okay, so all right. Can I do a comparison with what, Rob? When you ask me to do a comparison, you got to tell me what I'm supposed to compare it against. Because I will troll you with that one and just grab a Kylie doll or something and compare it against the Kylie doll. You got to tell me what you want me to compare it against. Thank you, Lemonhead. Yeah, Palladium made it. Analog Toys, thank you so much for the kind super chat. He says, they say we shouldn't make videos about toys we don't like, but look what happens when manufacturers listen to us. Yeah, very, very, very true. Very true. Okay, without further ado and no more preamble, let's open this box. This is going to be one of those awkward streams where I'm constantly having to, Mega System, I'm saying the same thing. That is my preference as well. As much as I loved the original few issues of the comics with the Overbite Turtles, and I bought them because I assumed, or I didn't buy these. I saw them for sale, and I toyed with the idea for several years of buying the knockoffs of them, the remolds of them. But then Venkman kindly donated these to me out of nowhere. It was a massive surprise. They're some of my most treasured action figures. I assumed we would never get these. I assumed that they would just do first issue Ninja Turtles and then that would be it. And it took a long time because it's 2023 and this was 2008. So you think of it that way, it's been a while. But Embargo, thank you for the super chat. He says, can't stay, but looking forward to watching this back later. I've still been staying clear of NECA, so curious. Yeah, I'm curious too. All right, so here we go. This is going to be one of those awkward streams where I got to open things and show things to camera and all that stuff, but we're just going to see how this goes. Okay, the box is open. And now... Okay, so we are... Let's keep the balance on both sides. Okay, the box has gold leader or red leader set is away. Okay. All right, we now have snippy things. So I knew I should have gotten my my little pliers here. Why am I not prepared? Okay, because it's NECA, just stand by. I apologize for this. I got to grab my pliers, my my snippers. So just hold on one second. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that, everyone. Sorry about that. All right. Snippers, fix my hair. All right, so we got these, and now I can safely remove these guys from this tray. Let's just start with Leonardo. We'll go right to left on this one. Oh, this looks fun. You know, the amount of packaging and whatnot they put on these toys is... You practically have to be a surgeon to get these things out. Okay. And you hope the whole time that you're not damaging the figure. They've even got one around his neck. Come on. All right, there we go. Okay. Is there really one more? There is one more. Okay. Come on. And of course, what does he do? He submits to gravity and falls right out of the package. Okay, so well, first off, he survived the fall, which I get it, Dark Shingo. You're smarter than everybody. You can pat yourself on the back. It's all good. We all... Okay, so the figure is unbroken, which is a very pleasant shock. Okay. Now, these guys, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why they interpreted the art this way, but these guys have like Street Fighter 5 Chun-Li thighs. I'm not really sure what that's all about. But yeah, they got Chun-Li thighs. Okay. The joints so far they seem like they want to work pretty well, although the biceps are not wanting to move. The bicep swivel is not wanting to move, and I'm not going to force it because it's NECA. So that's going to require boiling water, which, you know, that sucks because I can't exactly do that on camera. The legs seem to be moving pretty well on their own already. Got a little bit of like an upper thigh swivel on a ball joint, and then they've got their ankle pivots. Ankles seem to be pivoting pretty well. Joints are tight, but not too tight. So far, so good. The bicep swivels are frozen though, which doesn't thrill me. Well, the thing about a hairdryer on camera on Possible Pi would be that it would be really, really loud in the microphone, and also, given my experience with the Alien versus Predator, I almost want to boil these in water for a really long time in order to fully insure them against, you know, breakage. Let me get his weapons out and we will move on to the next turtle. Fairly nice sword there. I am sitting here wondering about the durability of these handles as they feel, you know, kind of overpainted, which makes it. Leo, if you don't stop falling. Well, so their center of gravity is not great. I'm going to have to figure out what their pose center of gravity is. He's already fallen over on the desk and hit the base of the microphone stand, which has taken off a chunk of paint right there at the corner of his scabbard. So the typical NECA paint jobs that are oversprayed, you know, to make them look really great, apparently don't have a lot of durability. I'm going to have to touch that up if I ever want to display, you know, him for photography. Yes, MP, but what do you want me to do? Okay, like it's a webcam. Jesus. I'm going to hold him up as much as I can, okay? So he's pretty decent, but as far as standing up, like I'll put him here so you guys can see him. I don't know what else I can do because I've got to get 4 of these out here and there. Master Son, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, totally off subject, but always something you like. I was today years old when I found out Kylie sung Locomotion. Didn't we talk about this? I think we talked about this. Okay. MP, I am doing the best I can. Okay, I'm trying to hold them up, but also get them out of the package. And then once I get them out of the package, I'm going to compare them to the other turtles. But I'm going to move this down so that you guys, as much as I can, so that you guys can stare at my crotch while I work on this as best I can. This is as far as my webcam goes, unless what you want me to do is unhook the webcam from the computer, and then I can put it like over here. So like if I grab this, right, and I move it, I can literally put it like right there. Oh, that's Kylie Minogue. Like, so then it just becomes this walleye vision thing. And it just wants to move on me. There. Are we all good now? Are we all good? Okay. Okay, so let's get the rest of these out of here. This is going to take a second because there's all these, what do you call it? Twist ties and junk. Isn't that what I just said? All right. There are more twist ties on this set of figures than I anticipated. Or not twist ties, but if they were twist ties, that'd be easier. But they're just holding these turtles in place. Okay, so I'm assuming that this is Donatello, which I can't show you now because I'm going to have to put him here. La, 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 la. So he's going to have the same, he's got the same bicep swivel, frozen bicep swivels that Leonardo had. Oddly enough, his ankle pivots are not frozen, which I'm shocked by, given that it's NECA. And I would think that if a bicep swivel was frozen, so would the ankle pivots. But it looks like it's just a bicep swivel issue. All right, let's get his bow staff out. Bow stick. All right, the arms are moving pretty well. The hands are nice and soft compared to the 2008 version. I will do a comparison in a minute, Rob K. I haven't forgotten your request. The bow stick is a little more flexible than I would have anticipated in a good way. So there is Donatello with his bow stick. All right, let me get Michelangelo out here. They have all these other accessories like a few different sets of hands and bandana, extra bandana extensions, so you can swap out the bandana so they look like they're flying behind their faces. I am not using those at the moment simply because this is just a look at the quality of the turtles themselves right out of the package, which is NECA's biggest challenge. Oh, these clips. Working on it, people. Working on it. They only have they have these throwing stars to answer your question, and no Impossible Pie. I never had to get the knockoff figures because Venkman gave me the authentic ones, so there was no point in me going after the knockoffs. Why would I do that? Okay. But as far as other weapons, no, they only have some throwing stars, some shuriken, and that's about it. But again, these are based on the Mirage comics, so they had their shuriken in that comic. As far as other weapons, I don't recall them using anything but their signature weapons. It wasn't like the Playmates toys. And let's be real, even the cartoon turtles didn't use anything that those Playmates toys came with aside from their signature weapons. And maybe occasionally some throwing stars, if I recall. Oh, there's so much plastic junk. Now, Raphael, just so you know, he comes with his kind of, I guess you'd call it his Ronin wear or something like that. Dominic, thank you for the super chat. He says, love the channel. Thank you. I found success dripping shock oil in the bicep swivels. After a few minutes, they work. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Have you read the IDW TMNT comics? They're awesome. I have not. I've gotten the IDW reprints of the original comics, but I have not gotten the new ones now. Yeah, there are no climbing claws in here that I'm aware of. None whatsoever. But Raphael does come with his hood, and he comes with an additional right arm with a bandage around the bicep to reflect that storyline in the original comic. One of the more famous storylines. Okay. All right. Are you going to come out? All right, everybody. So there's Michelangelo. His biceps are also frozen. His thighs are also Chun-Li thick. I will set him down here so that you can see him. And I will get out his nunchucks. He's got, like I said, they've got good range of motion for the most part for being turtles. They're just, like I said, they're just stiff. I don't have a problem with stiff joints. I have a problem with joints that will break as soon as I try to loosen them up. And that is kind of a shock to the system for me when it comes to this, because the bicep swivels are consistently frozen on all of these. Yes, George Aitken, they were always interpreted to be the same color. The original comics were black and white, but when Eastman and Laird did their color compilations for them, they chose to make all the bandanas red. Which I'm very fine. I'm totally fine with that. Because you got to remember, it's a conceit for the audience. They're brothers. They can tell each other apart. Matt Berry, thank you for the very kind super chat, sir. Thank you so much. No, they don't come with mini pizzas. I don't know what you guys are mistaking this set for, but whatever sets you're thinking of, this is not that set. Okay. The one thing about these is that, because they're based around the comic, you've got to store their weapons in the sides. you know, of their belts. There are no like loops or anything. So, you know, the weapons are going to store kind of like that, like they did in the original comic. And then, you know, and these nunchucks are actually connected together by black string, which gives it more of that comic book art look as compared to the chains that came with the Super 7 Ultimates and some of the other editions of Michelangelo, including the 2008 ones that I'll get over here in a second. But if I recall correctly, and I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure the artwork back then in the early comics depicted chains on the nunchucks. I don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I've looked at my compilations. NECA got the heads mixed up. Kieran, what does that mean? The inside of each head has the corresponding first letter of the turtle name stamped inside. Okay. Well, if that's Raphael, okay. So let me just jump in here, okay? Somebody just asked or said that's Raphael, I believe. I'm trying to find that. Black Void just said that's Raphael, I believe. If that was Raphael, okay, why is the Raphael figure, or why is the figure surrounded by all the Raphael stuff this one? Are you going to tell me that this is Michelangelo, but he's surrounded by Raphael's junk? You can take that as a euphemism if you want. Rocco, you're thinking of different art styles, my friend. This is the art style from the first comics. These are the art style from the later comics of the same original Mirage run. Okay, so now you guys are saying that they've got the heads mixed up. Is that what you're saying? Somebody shout out in the chat what you guys are sitting here nerding out about. Tell you what, you guys figure this out and send me an answer while I get this last figure pulled out of the box, okay? Hey, Bubba, is this your first time on RetroBlasting, even though I've been around for 11 years? You can be honest. Because everybody in the chat will tell you I don't suffer fools, okay? I'm not like your other toy channels. I'm not going to kiss your ass. Analog, thank you for the super chat. He says the chat is saying NECA mixed up the heads on your figures. Okay. Thank you, Analog. I'm not saying anybody's being a troll, Mike. I'm saying the guy's calling me testy, and I'm saying that the personality of this channel is well known. That's the difference. I never called him a troll. Okay, so here is Raphael apparently with somebody else's head on it. So now I'm going to test NECA's neck joints in real time and see if they'll pop off without me having to boil them in water. Because if I have to boil them in water, then the whole point of this test was moot. Okay, now, Laser Pants, tell me right now, do I need to boil these in water before I pop these heads off? Because if that's the case, then that's going to be a little bit of a fail point for my NECA assessment. I'm not going to do anything until I get an answer. You did not boil them. Okay. All right, well, let's just see what happens. All right, so the head came right off, and this one says M. And someone's telling me that, wait a minute. So how do we know which body is which? Because someone's saying that Raphael has the more scratches on him. Well, this one has more scratches than the one I just popped the head off of. And wouldn't this be Raphael's face? Oh, Lord. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this one back on, since we've determined that you can get the heads on and off without worrying about breaking the toy. I'm going to put these nunchucks with this guy, and then I'm going to get Raphael's sai out and put those with him. Okay, so is this Michelangelo? Yes or no? Survey says. All right, the sai are freed. Putting them in Raphael's hands now. There is no stamping on the bottom of the feet to indicate which body is which, so I'm just going to assume that the one that's beaten up the most is Raphael. So okay. There is Raphael. Does that look correct to you? All right, so Raphael has his, you have to take a bunch of stuff off, but he's got his little hood thing. So if I was to remove this bandana bit right here, which I assume twists out. Come on. All right. There we go. So that's twisting out. And if we put this thing on his head, then Raphael has his hood thingy. Why are you screaming at me? The whole point of this is to test NECA's improved durability. And if you've seen my videos, you know that I restore toys very carefully, and I'm very careful with toys in general. But the intent of this live stream is very different, sir. I'm aware of Last Ronin. That's why I made the point of showing you that. So this is, I think this is Leonardo's face, but let me just make sure. That's Leonardo. His face has the slightly open mouth on it. Okay, so the thing is that these faces, right? Like, depending on which turtle you wanted to have which expression, it wouldn't really matter which one you know. I love it when new people show up to this channel and they don't know what they're in for. I love it. I absolutely relish it. Channel's been around a decade and new people come in all the time and they're like, oh, he doesn't act like Ronald McDonald like all the other toy influencers. Whatever shall I do? All right. Let's see. NECA's incompetence in packaging is abysmal, or NECA's competence in packaging is abysmal. Yeah. It's pretty crazy to see how, even though they have all these fragility issues, they turn around and they over package these that put the figures at risk. From what I heard, Impossible Pie, these are supposed to, according to NECA's own information, they are supposed to have a wide release at some point. I don't know what that means, but you know. I'm a Hasbro Lab warrior. You mean in the sense of that I don't do HasLabs? Yes, that's correct. I do not. Okay, so now for yes, they are holding up to the abuse, Jason. They are. And you know, that's the other thing. You can feel the materials here, like in the case of this bandana. You know, the material is very rubbery, and I was holding it by the actual bit right here as I was pulling it out. I wasn't grabbing it from this side. So, like, I've been around the block enough to know how to assess what type of material is gonna, you know, hold up pretty well to a certain type of force. Thank you, Action Pop Dad. I appreciate that. All right, now for Rob's request to see a comparison. All right, so I'm going to compare. I'll do Leonardo with Leonardo here, and so I'll get these guys out of the way, and you can see the 2008 Leonardo next to the new hotness Leonardo. So here is the obviously the newer one is taller because they were starting to make them larger in the comic art. I think these two depictions actually scale pretty well together, considering. And Master Son, they do have a good weight to them. They're pretty weighty. Like, I wish I'd had my scale sitting here. I would have given you an exact amount, but these feel a lot lighter than these do. These are kind of hefty, chunky monkeys. But yeah, the just to put these guys on because of the fisheye lens, this is them standing at the same spot, toe to toe with one another, laterally. I've always liked the original look of the turtle, but of the turtles, the way they drew them, but I also really adored this version, and it was my ideal because I had that poster. That is very kind, GamerX. Thank you for understanding me and my personality and appreciating it. I thank you very much, honestly. Just Jeff, thank you so much for the kind super chat. He says, hey, just got here. I have this set and love it. Hope you're enjoying them. So far, aside from the bicep swivel issues and their easily chippable paint, they're all right. I'm not a big fan of the thighs on these guys, but I know that the comic art varied on that. You know, there were some issues and some angles and some drawings where the thighs were pretty big. So, is the head on the right, body on the other one? Oh God, are we going to do that again? Look, I get it. You guys just really want to get head. I get it. But I'm over you guys wanting head tonight. I'm I'm not giving you any more head tonight. Okay. This is what you get. These guys, I'm not swapping the heads out on because these are now very rare. And I'm sure that Venkman made those correct when he sent them to me. So you're just going to have to be happy with the head you get here. All right, so let's look at, let's try and get Michelangelo into a more dynamic pose here with his thunder thighs. And then we will compare him to the 2008 Michelangelo here in a second. At some point, I will take a photo and put it on Instagram showing me trying to get these into the NES cover pose, which is my preferred way of displaying Toidles, because I just think it was some of the best artwork that was ever done of the Ninja Turtles. But yeah, these thighs are big. Okay. Yeah, you can be critical of getting head when you're paying for it. As far as I'm aware, this live stream is free. All right. So there's the 08 Michelangelo and the new Michelangelo. Yeah, I'm really liking both of these sets as far as, you know, their legacy, because these two looks are the way I always think of the Ninja Turtles. I am going to be very interested to see how easily the bicep swivels free up. This set released this year, Gamer X. The one on the left released this year. The one on the right is from 2008. That's right. That's right, Master Son. That's true. In your case, you did pay for it, so you get to critique it. That's fair. Absolutely fair. I will, you know me, I'm fatally objective, and I will never try and, you know, avoid facts. So you are correct. You are technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. And so yes, you can critique it. Yes. The biceps on the other one do move. Yes, the biceps on this one do move. And they, as you can see, he's like, hey, look at my chucks. They're overall, aside, well, the thighs do have it almost looks like they ported over some of the same articulation and design for these. The overall design of them, despite their sculpting difference, looks pretty correct. This is why I don't like doing videos like this, because it's like, can I get my camera to focus? You like the chain chucks better? Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Master Son. I think the chain chucks work a little better. But as far as the artwork goes, the cord chucks are accurate to that. I mean, I think really what we're talking about here is between the chain chucks and their constant movement and the cord chucks. I think the best way to describe this, Master Son, is this figure is a grower and this figure is a shower. Is that fair? I think that's fair. All right, so let's move over to Golden Age. If I can find Splinter, I will get him. If I can find Splinter, I absolutely will. And I'm really considering doing the hunt for the exclusive April O'Neil from way back in the day. That's now like $200. So okay, so let me show you Donnie and Donnie. Gotta be careful. The one advantage to the 2008 ones is look how big their feet are. These guys don't fall over. And I really like the way these guys look. I mean, this was a really great set of figures when they came out. And I didn't buy them at the time because I was like making costumes for Dragon Con. And so I was totally distracted. But I really liked them. But I didn't pick them up. And so I was so grateful that Venkman surprised me with those. But yeah, so here's Donnie in a not so interesting pose while I figure out how to get, you know, better posing out of these guys. It's going to take me a little while. So just go with it. Can you focus, camera? No, you can't, because you're a webcam and you suck. Oh, are they doing a new April? I would love for them to do a new April. Yep. Let's see. Thank you, Bob. Thank you sincerely. I am. This is why I'm always so grateful for the majority of this community. Like the majority of this community, and I don't mean RetroBlasting. I mean the majority of the toy community gets it. Like they get it. And yes, thank you so much. When am I coming over to play some D&D? That's a great question. I'm not sure. Don't say anything online. Just send me a message and tell me where you're located, because I don't know if that's a rhetorical question or if that's for real. Yeah, so let's just do this final comparison with Raphael, and then I'll kind of give you my next steps and where I think this is going to go, and then all right, so we got Raphael here, who is a great 2008 figure. That right there, that's the face of justice. Sorry that this camera, you know what I'm going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This is going to get weird for a minute. Let me try and reset the focus on this camera. I'm going to do that by switching cameras. And you're going to see me for a minute. And then you're going to go back to the turtles. Hold on. All right, so we're going to... Hello. And now we're going back to... How'd that work out? That fixed the... Yeah, I think that fixed the problem. Okay. So there is Donatello out of the picture, and we will put Raphael back. Let me get this last Ronin hood off of him. Okay, the burlap is off, and I'm going to put his bandana piece back in. If it'll go back in. Yeah, it goes back in. Okay, there we go. All right, that's back in there. Let me get him posed up a little bit. The two rafts. So I think there's a lot of, as far as the sculpting goes, it's not an issue for me because I like both versions of these turtles. These two turtles are the ultimate versions of the turtles for me when I think of the Ninja Turtles, because they're the original Mirage comics, and I like both designs. So I'm glad to have both sets. As far as how NECA has done with the quality of the figures, I think NECA has made some great strides getting back to where they used to be with the 2008 line. The frozen biceps is a little worrisome for me. Hoping that I can sort that out. I hate having to stand up there and boil water and this and that, but I'll do it. But ultimately, I think the NECA figurines they've crawled their way back from a really bad place. Some people seem to indicate that certain types of NECA figures still exhibit problems. I guess certain types of characters. I don't know, like maybe Gremlins and Predators are what they're talking about. I'm not sure. But I'm really glad that NECA finally did this version of them. But yeah, so Maki, my next project is I'm finishing up this I'll put the camera back now. I'm finishing up this what do you call it? Is that gonna work? I think that works. I'm finishing up. Maybe that didn't work. Oh well, whatever. How's that? Okay. So I'm finishing up this Indiana Jones 4 review, and or sorry, Indiana Jones 4. Indiana Jones 5, so the Dial of Destiny review. I'm finishing that up. That's taken me several weeks, and it's going to be over 3 hours long. It's going to be the longest pre-produced scripted video in the history of the channel. It probably won't come out until at the earliest the second week in September, but I'm putting everything I have into it. I've already got 65 pages of script written and 54 pages of script totally recorded, edited, and finished. It's a big, big, big video. Do the ankles have joints on what, Killamagwai? Are you talking about the turtles? Because I've been showing them all night. So I've talked about the ankle rockers like 10 times. What are we doing here? I need you to tell me which ankles you're talking about. So ultimately, I think, look, I can't speak for other people, Dragon Reborn. I can't speak for other people. I'm just going to tell you that there's a lot to address in this movie. From a filmmaking perspective, from a screenwriting perspective, from an Indiana Jones franchise perspective. I can't speak for other people. I can only speak for myself, but I'm never going to sit there and try and apologize for my reaction to a thing when I know my reaction is studied and educated before I put it out there. I didn't just come back from the theater and pop off a 5-minute video and be like, it sucked. I saw it twice. Then I was able to get a screener copy so that I could, not perfect quality, but just enough to check my facts, check my memory. So, yeah, I got a lot to say on this one. Hey, Jesus, hope you're well too. I'm going to do the maths on that. Yes, Arjun. There is a video in the works about the recent Last Crusade set that came out from Lego with the airplanes. It is not a straight up review. It will be treated much like the Well of Souls and the tank Lego videos that I did. I'm always bringing extra receipts to the table with my videos. That's why they take a little longer, but I think it also makes them more rewatchable, and I think it makes them more valuable for the community at large. I think they're more fun. But you know, that's me. So, oh, do my ankles have joints? Yes. I can verify that as of this morning based on the cardio I did. Yep. So, and the push-ups I did over and over again. So, there are no Gunplas in the future right now, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean I won't do anymore. It just means that that right now I'm doing these other projects, trying to get them out, you know, knock them off the checklist, and then what I'm going to do is hopefully deal with or address a Bandai figure that's sort of adjacent to Gunpla. It's kind of in the same family, but it's a figure that Lio Convoy sent me that I've been meaning to compare with some other figures of equal or even higher value, and show how much you get out of a Bandai anime figure for the price. Let's see. That's right. That's right. There will be more Lego stuff. I'm also, you know, not just in the Indiana Jones department, but I'm trying to get a video done about the Lion Knight's castle, the big 90th anniversary, or yeah, 90th anniversary Lego set that came out with the big castle, which I've got right in there. I just got to get everything else out of my way so I can do it. Oh, and guys, when it comes to like, you know, I don't, you know what? I don't go onto other people's channels and leave comments like, you're wrong about this movie. It was great. What I do is I use my channel to express my opinion about the film and my assessment on it. The interesting part is that all the people who've actually said on the last video I did yesterday, and now comments like that is like, you're wrong. And I'm like, you know what's interesting? You've said 2 words, meaning that guy. You're those guys always, they both yesterday were like, you're wrong. And I'm like, wow, you spouted off 2 words and you act like done and done. Look what I've done for the broader pop culture community. Are your 2 words going to be able to hold up to my 3+ hours of observational commentary? My forensic commentary. Are your 2 words going to hold up to that, or are they going to feel like how they sound, which is a petulant kid in the back row of the elementary school saying he doesn't want to eat his apple for lunch? I'll be very curious to see how your 2 words hold up against my very reasoned and seasoned video. Okay, let's see. There's a full Voltron model kit being released. Full transformation with no parts forming. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. Jason, thank you for that. I want to be clear on something about this too. I don't give a crap if I don't get hurt over somebody liking a movie that I don't like. I get annoyed when somebody, you know, gets in my face about it and they act like they have to impose their contrary opinion on me rather than just respecting my ability to observe different things in the same movie. And when I see somebody do that, where they're like, you're wrong, that movie was great. It's like, is that all you got? Is this it? Is this Rush Hour for you? Like, is that all you've got going on up here? Is that you're just going to be like, neener, neener, neener? Like, is that it? Because I don't care what you think about the movie. I'm not in your face about your opinion. I'm here to express what I've observed so everybody can listen to it, consider it, reflect on it, and then decide what they want to incorporate into their assessment of it, their personal assessment. No, Maki, I can't do that, sir. And I'll tell you why. Because one, people on the internet who are subscribers to YouTube channels, they get annoyed when they see multiple upload notifications for something of the same topic. So if you're the type of person that doesn't like long videos and you also don't want to use the chapter stop links that will be in the video description, then there's not much I can do to help you. Because I'm not going to make 12 uploads, because there are 12 chapters to this video. I'm not going to make 12 separate uploads and piss off all of these subscribers because some people don't like long videos. There will be chapter stops in the video description so that you can click on those when you come back to it one at a time. I have chapter headings and everything in the video, but no, I will not be doing multiple uploads because as convenient as that sounds, it's a death warrant for a YouTube channel. It is an absolute death warrant, and I will not cut my channel's throat to do that. Okay. Yeah, but you know what? That's the whole thing. The fan base is dumb half the time. They're just these kids in adult bodies that never grew up, and they they probably still, you know, eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch for breakfast and, you know, Dino Nuggets for lunch and stuff like that. So to consider the source on that one. I mean, anybody on any side of the argument, whether it's they liked the movie or they didn't, or they like the company or they don't, it's not what they thought of the thing, it's how they express their position on the thing that will tell you everything about that person. It's not what they like, it's how they like it that can tell you everything about a person's character. And that's the whole thing, Rob. Like again, this video will have chapter stops in the description. So like the links to each chapter, because each chapter is titled. You know, it's so you will have links. So you can always just remember, I've watched chapters 1 through 4. You can come back to the link for the video, go right into the description, click the link for chapter 5. It'll jump you there and you'll start right from there. I'm doing everything above board to make this as user-friendly as possible. Yeah, look, I know that it's true. That's why I said it, because there are a lot of guys in our generation that are still doing that. And it's like, look, it's not wrong if you're still a mature adult out in the world. But as you and I know, man, firsthand, there are a lot of guys who eat this way who still act like they're 7. And they think that their voice has agency and should be listened to above all others. And it's like their parents didn't do something right. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, KJP. I've got some G.I. Joe videos in the works. There's more G.I. Joe videos coming. So, George Aiken, you must like this movie. Why? Because I do, and I say so as a dumb opinion. Exactly. Like I said, William, there's nothing wrong with enjoying sugar cereal as long as you remember that you're over the age of 30 or 35 or whatever. You know what I mean? As long as you're acting like an adult, do whatever you want. But if your food reflects your behavior, then it's time to force that person to grow up a little bit and expand outward. I will not lay off the Cinnamon Toast Crunch to protect your feelings, Lo-Fi. I am not worried. I am not worried about people getting butthurt over my comments about anything. Thank you, Jason. Very, very kind. Tribute for amazing content. You're very welcome, sir. This was I just wanted to do, I will be doing photographs on Instagram of these guys as soon as I get their biceps, done up as a sort of final assessment punctuation mark on this sentence. This was just an impromptu unboxing just to see how it all came out initially. And, so far, these are looking, I think his sigh is slightly bent. These are looking much more like the NECA of this time period than the NECA we got there for several years in the 20 teens. Okay. Yeah, gamer, boy, that's the truth. That is the truth. You do not get more toxic than real versus cartoon accurate. Yeah. Transformers is a tough fandom to get through. That is for sure. Just make sure I didn't miss any super chats here because I feel like I might have. Yes, I did miss two. Sorry about that. Master Son 42, thank you so much for the super chat. He says the old turtle looks like me in high school. The new one is like me playing football in college. Now you need an overweight one for military retirement. Well, I think there were some overweight sumo ones made for the original Playmates line. So those might, kind of fit the bill. Rob K, thank you for the super chat. He says, thanks for showing the comparison, Michael. Great stream tonight. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Sorry I missed these super chats earlier. I'm glad I went back and looked for them. The chat tends to jump. Let's see. Yep. Somebody just said, I think I already read this one, but NECA's competence in packaging is abysmal. Yep, 100%. I just saw somebody lamenting. Oh well, you see things fly by in the comments, and then you don't know, you don't know how to find it to go back for it. Will YouTube allow a 3-hour video with no ads? They'd better. My YouTube channel, as you guys know, is set up that when YouTube tried to make it a default setting to drop ads in the middle of videos to just interrupt them at random points, they gave you a window as a creator to opt out of that. And I was on top of it and I opted out of it. So my videos, even though they're still begging me all the time to start putting more ads in my videos, my videos are set to only have an ad either at the very, very beginning before the video starts, or if YouTube wants to, at the very, very, very end after the video is over. So this video will have no ads, as all RetroBlasting videos do. It will have no ads in the middle. I worked too hard on this video to have it interrupted by BS ads from YouTube. I care about my audience's experience, and I care about the work I put into these things, even if some people like to say that RetroBlasting videos suck. I put a lot into my content and a lot into my expression, and I'm not going to have it interrupted by that crap. So this will be a 3.5-hour uninterrupted video experience. 3 hours, 3.5 hours. It's hard to say at this point. It could be under 3 hours, but I doubt it. Because the video is already, the edited part of the video is already 2 hours, 1 minute. And I'm still writing chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. No problem, Rebecca. No problem. Indy 5, the Michael cut. That's funny. Yeah, YouTube does this thing. I don't get it because they're not transparent about their payouts and their algorithm. But they always tell content creators, it's like, you've earned this much revenue from ads and you've earned this much revenue from YouTube Premium. And you never know how to interpret it. YouTube Premium always looks paltry, though. Like, I don't really know how they dish that out. But again, like, my philosophy has always been, if I can just keep my content breaking through the glass ceilings that YouTube sets up, then more people will show up and watch my videos, and then I'll get the views and I'll get the ad revenue from that ad at the front. And when that works, I'm fine. But all these people that have gamed the system and they've just dumped multiple ads in there and stuff like that, I know it's now commonplace, but I hate it. I can't be on the treadmill in the morning watching a video from any other channel but mine at this point, because they all have ads in the middle and I can't stop my run to reach over and risk falling over to hit skip ad. So I freely admit that when I'm working out in the morning, I watch my own videos because they're the only ones long enough without ads for me to get through my workout. Oh, thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. I'm not the biggest fan of live streaming, but I'm glad some people appreciate my personality. So, yeah, they're definitely by default better than the Super 7 Ultimates for me, just because they represent the original comic stuff. I'm on the record about the Super 7 Ultimates from the video I did, and I haven't changed my opinion on those at all. They're too expensive for what you get. What you do get would be fine if they were cheaper. but they're not. And, you know, so, oh, thank you, Lucas. That's very kind, sir. That's very kind. Well, right now, Lucas, I'm doing resistance training, like, you know, your standard push-ups, pull-ups, cardio. I'm doing a few like different cardio things, not just treadmill, but I'm doing like, you know, other types of, you know, like stand in place movements and stuff like that to try and help reinforce my core. And then I'm doing bicep work. I have a neck condition. It's not from an injury. It's genetic. It's called Chiari syndrome, and I have it under control. It's not lethal or anything. But what I'm saying is I have the pain and the headaches that can come from it. I've been able to successfully manage back out of my life. It started in my early 30s. So I've been trying to build up my core strength to the point where I can do sit-ups again and ab crunches, because that's a real strain on your neck. So until I have all that worked up here from other types of resistance training, I can't do those without potentially hurting myself or flaring up the Chiari, which you really don't want to do because it involves your spinal cord. So I'm taking it one step at a time, but I'm really happy with the way things have gone so far. Yeah, see, exactly, Media Warrior. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. I will not put up with that in one of my videos that I've worked so hard to do. I really have, you know, I worked hard on that. And so like, I just, yeah. Sometimes we like the raw Michael as well as the cooked Michael. And Maki says, I don't. Maki, we've known each other a long time. Come on now. Don't be a wimp. Prime Syndicate is here. Good to see you, sir. Yeah, I'm yeah, I have Chiari syndrome. Yep. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's literally thick-headedness at the back of your skull that forces your brain. That's right. I'm that stubborn. That I have too thick a skull at the back, and it forces my brain forward slightly where it sits on the top of my spinal cord, like my top vertebra. It uses my vertebra as a stool. And over time, if it's an extreme case, fortunately mine is not, they say. I've had MRIs and all that stuff. But if it's an extreme case, you can actually start forming cysts in your spinal column, which can lead to paralysis. So you really have to be, you know, cognizant of it and take care of yourself, because it's a long boil problem if you don't manage it. It can sneak up on you if you just if you don't manage it and do what's necessary. Michael, I started a while back with the 2 female figures. They're mint on card. I've got them in there. But I haven't gone after any of the rest yet because I'm so behind on all these other retrospectives. I would feel bad collecting ahead on those. So it's going to be a while before I'm sure by the time I get to gargoyles, they'll be like worth $1 bazillion. Let's see. Yeah, isn't it also related to the archangel Michael, who slayed the devil, cast him out of heaven? Yeah, it's not fun, DJ. I appreciate it. It's not fun, but it's not something. I'm fortunate. Like I said, I have a very manageable version of it, and I do everything necessary to keep it that way. Let's see. Where did I go to school? What did I go to school for? Well, first I went to school for film, and I got a degree in that. And then I got a graduate master's in mass communications and journalism. So first it was film production, screenwriting, directing, editing, all that stuff. That was undergrad. Then I worked out in the industry for a while, for about 2 years. Then I came back and I did grad school in mass comm and journalism. Well, Alex, life is a poetic experience, and if you look hard enough, you'll see that life reflects itself. And I've always seen my when the doctor told me that it literally it means you have a thick head back there. I just said to myself, well, that's fine. Like I'm not, I don't see it as a character flaw. So I am working on a replica Shankara cloth. Holy crap, man. Yeah, like I don't want to take advantage of your talents and stuff, but I would definitely display that for sure. I mean, your Grail diary right now is on display next upstairs in the living room display cases with the tank tread piece. Just like I said, the Lego tank is not in there. But my Staff of Ra headpiece, your diary, that tank tread piece, those are all in there together on display. I'll take a picture of it for Instagram. But yeah, that would be great, especially knowing how well you do those Grail diaries. I can't imagine what that would end up looking like. Excuse me, that's too kind. Please let me know. Well, I'm going to be doing a video, John, about those movies at some point. I'm going to be doing a video about the second one, and I'm going to be doing a video about the first one individually. So the second film is my preferred film in the series, which I know a lot of people don't say, but you'll actually learn a lot about why it's my preferred film in the series when you see my Indy 5 review, because the Tomb Raider movies come up in that review actually multiple times. The third film was almost a kick-ass action film. I like the 2013 game, so I was looking forward to seeing the film. Unfortunately, the film face planted and screwed up. So the second Angelina Jolie film will always be my favorite. And when I say favorite, I don't think there's ever been a great Tomb Raider movie. I think the potential for that franchise has never been realized on the big screen ever. I'm saying it's the least worst, if that makes any sense. It has an unfair reputation put on it by people that oftentimes don't know what they're talking about. That second film is a superior experience despite its stupid moments, which all the Tomb Raider films have. It's a crapshoot every morning whether I hate the third film or the first film second worst, but those two always tie for second and third. They interchange depending on my mood. I didn't know you had film studies. What are you currently working on? Do you mean for my channel? I'm working on that Indy 5 review, and I'm working on the Freeze Chamber review, and I'm scripting a Star Wars Follies, and I'm doing a Thundercats Redux with Lio Convoy that I'm still watching all the shows for. Let's see. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate that. Yeah, I heard about that, Laser Pants. I saw the render today. They were going gaga over the render on Twitter. And it was like It's fine. I think her eyes are a little too close together, but it's still just another crossover thing where they're just kind of licensing her out to another thing because they don't have their act together to get a game out. Crystal Dynamics is that company is a mess right now. They are a mess. The fan base for that is just hungry for anything. And every time you hear this news saying there's probably going to be Tomb Raider game news dropping today, I hope it's, and then it's literally like Lara Croft is going to have a level in Power Washer. That was literally a thing. And now they're like, oh no, we're not talking about a new game, but she's going to be in Call of Duty. And it's like, yay. Woo. Yeah, War Stories is coming back. It will be. War Stories is coming back, and it will be soon. We just got to get Tony and Master Son together and pick a movie to do it, but we will be. The condition is treatable, Tim, if you do full-on brain surgery, and then you've got to get a really, really good brain surgeon to do it. Not to make people squeamish, but it involves separating your neck muscles from the back of your head and then cutting a section out of your skull. And if they do it wrong, you can end up with chronic migraine and all kinds of other problems for the rest of your life. And the surgery is basically, what they told me was, it's not a surgery you just have on a whim. And I was like, well, thank you for explaining all this to me. And the neurosurgeon wanted to do it. The neurologist looked at the MRI and he was like, He's like, you're going to be okay. Just manage this. He's like, I don't think you're in any danger zone. He said, just manage it. He said, do X, Y, and Z. He said, and you should have a very, very normal life. He said, do not sign up for that under these conditions. And I'm like, got it. Good to go. Not doing it. Well, everybody, let's see. Yes, Sam, I have, and I shall. X-Wing is my second favorite video game of all time after the original Tomb Raider. So, yeah, it's a really, really amazing game, and I would love to do a video about it at some point. I talked about it very briefly in my video, Star Wars Follies, about the arcade games. I mentioned it because I was always obsessed with any video game that made me an X-Wing pilot. A NECA video game version of the figure from the first two installments. Yeah, that would be nice, but unfortunately NECA only did the Legend trilogy, where they did Legend, Anniversary, and Underworld. That was NECA's extent with the Tomb Raider franchise. So, well, Chris, separate videos. Okay, here's the thing: if you're uploading a thing as separate videos, and they're all part of the same thing, then technically those are chapters, and therefore that you will have to indicate to your audience that they will need to watch them in a specific order to understand the flow of what you're trying to say. Ergo, that will end up pissing off people who don't have any interest in that topic and will be getting notifications for 5, 6, 7, and in this case, 12 different notifications for what they see is the same topic they're not interested in, and then they will unsubscribe. Ask me how I know. So my point is that no matter what rhetoric you want to use, if you're making multiple uploads that are about the same thing, they're basically chapters. Yeah, I'm going to pass. I appreciate the offer, but I'm going to pass. Well, Miss Shadow, I did the video about Wheeljack a little while back, And I believe I did another video recently. I say recently. I feel like I did another Transformers-based video a while ago, but I'm trying to remember what it was. But I definitely did the Wheeljack one. I do Transformers videos when I feel like there's something really substantive to say. So I'll get there. I promise I'll get there. Scott Hughes. Well, thank you so much for the super chat, sir. Just because Michael is too humble to state it himself. The RetroBlasting Patreon is the best there is. Please go subscribe unless you. I appreciate that, sir. It's very, very kind of you. You didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I remember that one. I don't have that one. PlayArts Kai did. PlayArts Kai did the first Tomb Raider game in 2013, and they did the a figure for the Rise of the Tomb Raider, which was the second game in that trilogy. Yeah, those are two of the few Tomb Raider figures I don't have, not including the Tonner dolls. But we're not going to go into those because those are like designer Barbie dolls. They're not action figures. Tony Robles, thank you so much for the kind super sticker. Very much appreciated. Thank you, sir. Will we be seeing a 3-hour follow-up review on the Defiant by any chance? Yeah, I got to get around to doing that, Jeremy. It's over there in the TV room, and it ends up being out of sight, out of mind. And then I pass it to go watch something in the evening, and I see it, and I go, crap, I got to make a video about that. So I will do a final review roundup on that. I need to do that. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, the thing is with those Tonner dolls, William, is that I wouldn't be opposed to owning them, but they have become so expensive on the secondhand market that they're impossible. Like the classic Lara they did, the only one that's on eBay, the guy wants $5,000 for. And I'm like, you know what? I love Tomb Raider, but not that much. No thanks. I'm fine. I don't need it. Well, there hasn't really been a good one, Tony. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. There hasn't been a very good one. The NECA ones were real fragile. That was back during NECA's really bad era, the late 2000s into the 20 teens. So unless you keep them on the card backs, they're gonna break on you. So I can't, and they don't really have any articulation below the waist. So they're more like cheap statues. There hasn't been a good one. The other action figures for the first movie, the second movie, and the early Playmates ones, they're shorter than 6 inches by and large, and they're also not that great. So there hasn't been a good 6-inch Tomb Raider figure. Well, I've always said that it was perfectly tailored for somebody like Valaverse. I thought Valaverse would have done a great job on Tomb Raider, but Crystal Dynamics is a weird company, and their licensing is weird, and I don't know what they're doing right now with Amazon and all that stuff. But I think we're a long way off from ever seeing truly good Tomb Raider action figures. I don't think Crystal Dynamics knows what it's doing in that department. I don't. Are you talking about, because there's been like a few announced. There's been SH Figure Arts, and there's not Mafex, the other Mezco. Mezco has done one. It's coming soon. SH Figure Arts has done one that's coming soon. And then you got the crappy Hasbro Adventure Series. Those just look horrible. Well, everybody, it is the 90-minute mark, and Oh, Scuba Pete just popped in. Hello, Scuba Pete. Good to see you. I guess we're I can't tell if we're winding down or not, but just wanted to thank everybody for hopping in with me on this unboxing. And I'm gonna get these guys, you know, in the boiling water and then get a few photos on Instagram tomorrow. But in the meantime, if you guys need anything or you want to reach out, you guys know how to find me. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all under RetroBlasting, the Patreon that Scott Hughes mentioned, and email, of course. So just no problem, Rocco. Thanks for being here. So just hit me up. And with that, I will end this stream tonight, and I'll see you on the next one. See you, everybody.